Hey everybody, Jessica Wanglin here. How are you? Tell me what's going on in your life and your business these days. I want to talk about something that is probably really obvious and really common in business today, and that is, should you have a website for your business? Now, tell me a couple things. Do you actually think of yourself as someone who would kind of have a professional enough do you think of yourself as someone that has a professional enough brand or endeavor or interest to have a website presence for your business? Or do you perhaps are network marketing and you're using a third-party tool, or maybe you're using your company site to share links with people, or maybe you just have one and you haven't updated it in a long, long time? Tell me if you have a website for your business and if you think it's important. I actually did a poll on this a little while ago, and most people think that yes, it's absolutely vital to have a web presence for your business. Now, sometimes when you think of that, maybe you think dollar signs and you just have no idea how you would ever afford a website for your business. So I want to give you a couple things to consider when working on your own business yourself, making a brand for yourself, and putting yourself online. Because as we know it, obviously, there's so much information online, and most of the time, today's day and age, you're going to find something, it's going to be online. So let's consider a couple things when deciding what and how to have a website for your business. Number one, what basically is the goal of what you're doing? Your goal is to create a community, most likely, of people that have something in common, that have some kind of problem that you have a solution for, right? And you want to get those people talking, you want to get them connecting, you want to get them information. And so again, you're probably going to do that in an online presence of some format. You're also going to think about the goal to do the business in terms of money and transactionary, right? Because you are a business person, and at some point there has to be a monetary transaction and some income for you as well, right? So think about where you buy things now. I mean, would you go to a store to get a certain type of item, or more likely would you buy that online? So think about that in terms of the goals of your business and what you're actually looking for people to do and what kind of outcomes you're looking to get. So number two, I also want you to consider is think about having ownership over your brand. If you're in a network marketing company, that business unfortunately really could be gone in a blink of an eye. There's companies that have shut down or changed their commission structure, so people have lost dramatic amounts of money, or teams just disperse and it doesn't happen anymore. So you have to think about the ownership of you and the skill sets that you are sharing with the world and the message that you are giving out, right? It's not just under a specific company, it's you and your life and all those past experience that you have and all the value that you can provide to people, right? So having an ownership over your brand, yes, does make it a great way to translate that to be a presence online, right? So those are two major things to consider. So here's a couple things that I suggest. If you're thinking of getting a website for your business, you don't already have one yet, and maybe you want to do in the future, or maybe you're looking to set something up on now online. Number one is to grab your URL. If you don't already have a URL for that is your name, I suggest you have your name, first and last name, or whatever kind of combination that you use. Definitely get a brand that you're sharing if you have a name around your business, what that brand might be. I would suggest go and grab those URLs. There's a lot of different places that you can get that from. You can find the information about that actually on my site under the business tools tab and resources page. You can find that there. So grab your URL, just buy it. Most of the time those are around $10 a year. Literally, you could just pay for that and hold on to it so nobody else purchases it from you, because you don't want that to happen. You'll see that happen sometimes, and then people are going to try to charge you 4 and 5 figures to get your name URL, and you don't want that. So go grab your URL online, just purchase a domain. Again, that doesn't mean you have to build anything with it. It means that you own that .com or .us or .net or whatever the different options are. And there are a ton of different options for those things these days as well too, so don't forget that. So grab your URL. Number two, if you're considering having a site, think about hosting one on the WordPress platform. WordPress is a great, amazing site builder that you can get. It's wordpress.org, that you can host different themes to have a look and a feel for your site, that you can have all kinds of free options for people to opt into email lists, to get people documents and downloads and content upgrades and things like that, and opt-in, incentives. It's also a great place to have you can have your social media things on there. There's tons of things you can do with WordPress. It's a really great platform. I've actually had a WordPress website for about 10 years now. Super easy to use, even if you're not technically inclined, online and such like that. So WordPress is great to use. When you're doing that, you're going to get a theme, you're going to have a look and feel around it, what the titles are going to look like, where the information is going to flow. That's super easy to do, and there's dozens and hundreds of them that are actually free, so you don't have to pay for it. So grab your URL, think about using WordPress. And The reason why you would do this actually is because if you actually have a presence online, then you can start an email list. And an email list these days is going to be one of the super most important and valuable things to have, because you don't own social media and you don't own any of the way that it shows your information out to the world. While yes, you can control the message you put on there, the other platforms control who sees it, right? And so with an email list, you can make a decision about when you're going to communicate with the people who want value from what you have to offer and what you're going to send to them, right? And so those are some considerations about getting a site. Grab your URL, think about using WordPress, get an easy to use theme, and then think about starting an email list. And so a couple other things to think about to have a list, a website, and is like, you may think you have to have all this information and all these pages and all kinds of data and pictures and etc., but that's not necessarily true. I actually have a website. I started mine with a couple simple things, just a few links to my social media pages and an about me page, literally. And then from there you can build it out, because again, the way some of the themes are structured on WordPress is that you could have an about yourself page, you have a home page, you can have a blog eventually. That's not even something you have to do, but you can have a site, a very simple, gorgeous looking site with links to your social media profiles, a way for people to opt into your email list and to just get connected with you that way. And so think about that too. So if you want to take a look at some of the tools that I use specifically and see the website that I have now and the different pages and information that's on there, find that of course at jessicawangland.com. And there are, like I mentioned, some of the business tools that you can check out that are things that I use, including where I get my hosting from, where I purchase my URLs, the themes and the WordPress sites, and all the great landing pages and things that I use for the site as well. So find that at jessicawangland.com/business tools, and tell me what you think of those. Now, I also want to know if you have a website for your business now, how did you come about doing it? Do you like it? Do you want to redo it? Or if you're thinking of getting a site, what are some of the barriers in your way to do it? Are you thinking it's too expensive? You don't know the tech side? What are some of those other things that are going through your mind about creating an online presence for your site? I would love to know. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. We'll be in touch very soon.